Good morning. I'm Miss Tara Dubose, first grade teacher at St. Elmo Elementary School. Welcome to a day of learning, fun, activities, and games. I will now introduce our presenter for the next 30 minutes, 20 minutes, Miss Cooper. You can, girl.
Good morning. My name is Jada Cooper, and I am an ARI reading coach at Spencer Westlawn. Before I became an ARI reading coach, I previously taught first grade for 18 years, and I currently am working with K through 3 teachers at my school. Before we begin our lesson today, I would like to review our reading terminology that you see on your screen at this time. Our first word we're going to look at is going to be phonological awareness and phonemic awareness. This is the ability to identify and manipulate the sounds of spoken language, including words, syllables, onsets and rhymes, and phonemes. And anytime you hear us saying phonemes, that means sounds. So anytime you hear us say phonemes, that's talking about sounds. We're working with syllables. When we're working with syllables in the classroom, it's simple as having them to count, or they can clap how many parts in a word. For example, in the word table, it has 2 syllables. We could clap it or we could count it. Table. And that's what we do in the classroom when we're working with our phonological awareness and our phonemic awareness. When we're talking about onsets and rhymes, we're talking about the beginning part of the word and then the second part of the word, or the beginning sound and the second part of the word. For example, at, hat. That's what we're talking about. The rhyme, R-I-M-E-S, is not rhyming words. It's going to be the second part of the word. We also work with rhyming words like cat, bat. That all goes with phonemic awareness. And in phonemic awareness, we love to tell our children, okay, boys and girls, let's put our ears on, because this is a listening activity. We don't use pencil, paper, letters, or anything like that. All we want them to do is to be great listeners, so we have to put on our listening ears. Our next word that we're going to look at is going to be the word blending. The joining of the sounds of 2 or more letters with little change in these sounds. When we're talking about blending and they're saying 2 or more letters, that's where we're going to say the sounds in the word, and then we're going to blend them together. We're going to push them together, and the students are going to read the words. And this is the beginning part of our blending, and the goal is for them to be able to read those words automatic. Our last word we're going to look at is going to be CVC. Anytime you hear have a parent and you're telling them CVC when the teachers are talking to them, we need them to know that C stands for consonant. Consonants are phonemes. Those are your sounds that are not vowels. And we have a total of 26 letters, and 21 of them are consonants. V stands for vowels. Vowels are phonemes, which are your speech sounds that are not consonants. So if they're not consonants, then they're going to be vowels. Vowels can be short and they can be long. And our 5 vowels are A, E, I, O, U. It's the same when you were probably in school when we talked about the consonants and the vowels. Today we're going to look at an open court lesson. Open court reading is the series that was adopted for Mobile County Public Schools for reading. It has 3 sections. We have the foundational section, which is going to be green. We have the reading section, which is going to be red. And then we have the language arts section, which is going to be blue. Today you're going to get a snapshot of what a foundational lesson looks like in the green band. We're going to focus on Unit 1, Lesson 1, Day 4. We will first look at phonemic awareness, then we will go through the blending routine, and we will work on developing oral language. A child who is phonemically aware is able to isolate sounds, manipulate sounds, blend and segment the sounds into spoken and written words. We're first going to look at our phonemic awareness activity. We're going to focus on the final consonant sounds. And when I'm saying final, that means the ending sound. I am going to do the first two first, and then it will be your turn to work on this skill as well. And remember, put your listening ears on, because with phonemic awareness, we focus on listening. Word, man. Plant, word, plant. Now it's your turn. Are we ready? Report. What is the word? Report. Good job. Next word. What is the word? Team. Good job. Let's look at our next phonemic awareness activity. On this activity, we're going to focus on the initial consonant sound. And when I'm saying initial, that means the beginning sound in the word. I'm going to do the first two, and then it will be your turn to practice. Zap. What is the beginning sound? Z. Good job. Buy. What is the beginning sound? P. Good job. Now it's your turn. You're going to listen to the word, and you're going to give me the beginning sound or the initial sound or of the word. And we're ready. First word, cup. What is the beginning sound? Good job. Dog. What is the beginning sound? D. Good job. Now we're going to move on. We're going to work on the blending routine that your child will have in their classroom. This is very important because this is going straight into them learning how to read. And the goal of blending is for them to do it automatically when they come across a word. As we're going through it, I will have a routine that we do in the classroom where I'm going to say sound, and then you will say the sound, and then I will say sound, and then you will say that sound. Then I will say blend, which means you're going to blend those sounds together to read that word naturally. I'm going to do the first row. The second row we will do together, and then the third row I will guide you through it, because then it's going to be your turn to blend and read these words. Sound, sound, blend, am, read, am. Sound, sound, blend, at, read, at. Good job. Now we're going to go back and we're going to read our words on row 1. Ready, read, am. Ready, read, at. Good job. Now I want you to get involved with me, and I need for you to participate. I want you to blend those sounds so we can read our words. Are we ready? Sound, sound, blend, sound, blend, read. Good job. Sound, sound, blend, sound, blend, read. Good job. Now we're ready to read our words on row 2. Ready, read, mat. Ready, read, sat. Good job. Row 3, I want you to blend with me like you just did on the second row as we go through the words. Sound, sound, blend, sound, blend, read. Good job. Sound, sound, blend, sound, blend, read. Sound, sound,
at,
blend,
mat,
sound, blend,
mat,
sound, blend,
mats,
read.
mats.
Great job. Now we're ready to read our words that are going to be on row 3. Ready, read. Sam, ready, read. Matt, ready, read. Matt. Good job. Now we're going to go back to row 1 and we're going to read all of our words that we have blended during our lesson today. And I will prompt you when it's time to read each word. Ready, read. Am. Ready, read. At. Ready, read. Mat. Ready, read. Sat. Ready, read. Sam. Ready, read. Matt. Ready, read. Math. Good job. Great job, boys and girls. Go ahead and kiss your brain at this time. You did a great job blending those sounds to read those words correctly. After we blend our words to read the words, we're going to work with developing oral language. And we love, I know we don't like to hear children talk, but we actually love to hear the children talk to help develop their oral language in the classroom. So I'm going to give you clues, and you're going to look at the words that we have on our blending board and see if you can find the words. These are names for people. The children will look through the words and they will find one of the words that goes with the clue. Good job. Sam is one of the words, which is a person's name. And Matt is a person's name. The first question I will ask, how do you know those are names? You know those are names because they begin with a capital letter, and that's one of the first things our students learn, that all names begin with a capital letter. So that was their first clue, to look for the ones that started with a capital letter. Great job. These words rhyme with at. Mat would be one, and sat would be a word. They both rhyme with the word at. Which word means more than one? Which word means more than one? The word is mass. Great job. And I will ask a student, how do you know that word means more than one? And the students more than likely will respond, it's more than one because most of the words have an S at the end. And if they have an S at the end, majority of the time, those words mean more than one. Now it's time for application. We're going to take what we learned during the phonics lesson, which were blending those sounds, reading those words. So now we're going to apply it in the Decodable. The Decodable is a book the students read, and they also are able to bring them home, but they will be able to apply what they learned in phonics for that week, and also the sight words that they have learned for the week. Those sight words are pulled out, and we practice those sight words before we go into the Decodable. It's called a Decodable because every word in this Decodable book can be decoded. Just like we were blending, they're able to blend those sounds to read those words in the books. So parents, when you see these Decodable books coming home, please practice with your child or with your children. The more they practice, the better that they will get with their reading. So please make sure when you see these Decodable texts, please make sure you practice every night. And something I tell my parents at my school is to put them in a shoebox. That way you have a library collection at the end, because they keep building. You have your children to go back and reread each time, even when you move on to another book. You continue to go to those books as well. So they will have their own library collection. Also, I'll suggest with the sight words that they are written on an index card, and they also can go in the box as well. So you have the index cards with the sight words on them. They can quickly run through those sight words, and they have their decodable text. It's a lot of things you can do with a set of index cards. And now I will pass the microphone on to my colleague, Ms. Tamara Dubose.
Okay, it's time for a make and take activity. And these are things that you can make at home and work on them with your child. So for this make and take activity, you will need 5 index cards and a marker. You have a Ziploc bag or something you want to put these in to keep them at home. That is absolutely wonderful, because the more you do this, the more those letters are going to grow. And if you decide you want to put everything in a pencil box because you have so many letters in that Ziploc bag, that is wonderful as well. I'm going to go ahead and let you know the 5 letters that you're going to be using for this activity. When we write these letters on the card, we're going to do the capital letter and the lowercase letter. So when you have your 5 index cards and your marker, please just stand behind your chair. That's how I know that you're ready. Okay, looks like everyone is ready for the activity. Let's begin. My first letter we're going to write on our card. We're going to do an M, okay? M as in man. We're going to do a capital M on the front and a lowercase m on the back. Our next letter is T. T as in Tom. Capital T on the front, lowercase t on the back. Your handwriting is looking great, parents. I love it. Your next letter is going to be an S, and I'm going to do the S as in Sam, as Ms. Cooper stated in her presentation. So a capital S on the front, lowercase s on the back. We won't be complete with this without a vowel. So on this one, I'm going to do a capital A on the front, as in apple, A, and a lowercase a on the back. And our last letter is an N. Capital N on the front, lowercase n on the back. And I do want to say something. When you're making these at home with your child, if on the vowels, and Ms. Cooper did a great job of saying those vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. If you want to write that vowel in another color, or if you have an index card that's a different color, do your vowel in another color so that vowel really stands out when you start these activities at home with your baby. Okay? I am now ready. I'm going to give you a couple of different activities that you can do at home with your child with these letters. We have 5 cards. Let's spread those 5 cards out in front of you. I'm going to say a word first. When I say that word, you're going to grab those letters and put in front of you to build that word. Ms. Cooper did blending. I'm going to come right behind her with some building. Okay? My first word is going to be tan. Tan. Okay? Tan. What I want to do with the word tan is, I want to count those sounds in tan. Okay? Let's go ahead and count those sounds in tan. T, a, n, tan. Let's count those sounds again. T, a, n, tan. Okay? Then you're going to ask your child to say those letters. Let's say those letters in the word tan. T, A, N, tan. Then let's do some substitution. I want to change that, move that T back up, and I want to bring that M down. Now let me see if you could tell me the new word that we just built. What's our new word? Man. And with the new word that I just did, I want to do that blending routine that Miss Cooper showed us so wonderfully. Let's go ahead and blend. Ma. Okay? Then let's go next. Man. Okay, now let's say it again. Man. Okay? I want to give you something that you can do with this. Once your child writes that word, if you have a piece of paper, a notebook or something, have them to write the word man and illustrate a picture. Kids love to draw. That makes their inside so happy. So let them draw a picture of a man. Also, you can ask them to use the word man in a sentence. Or you can use the word man in a sentence. And I love doing sentences with children because I'm going to give you a great example. I'm going to give you a sentence and we're going to count the number of words that are in that sentence. Okay? Let's go ahead. Let's put our fingers up so we can count our words in our sentence. But first, I'm going to say the sentence twice. So we're not going to count just yet until you hear the sentence the second time. So just give me a fist up so I know you're ready when we get ready to start counting. I see a tall man. I'm going to say it again, and then you're going to say the sentence. I see a tall man. Now say the sentence with me for the third time, and let's count the number of words in that sentence. Let's go, guys. I see a tall man. Again, I see a tall man. Very good. Two things you can do with this with your children. You can write that sentence down, or you can dictate that sentence. Okay? If you're going to dictate that sentence to your children, be sure you tell them about capital letters. A sentence begins with a what? Capital letter. What does the sentence end with? A period. When you're doing sentences, I like using some adjectives or some rich vocabulary. And I think that rich vocabulary really brings a sentence to life. Okay? Also, when you're doing that, if you just want to start a little book for them and let them start writing sentences with the words, underlining the words in the sentence. And when I did the sentence, I see a tall man, I heard a sight word in there. And I heard Ms. Cooper talking about sight words. That first sight word, if they didn't learn that one in kindergarten, it's going to be C. And that first couple of weeks of first grade, we're going to review some of those kindergarten sight words. So with this activity, you can blend a word, you can build words, you can illustrate a picture, you can you can write a sentence, or you can do a dictation sentence with it. So just with those 5 cards, you can do several different activities. Also, you don't have to keep these same 5 cards. If you want to change that A to an I, okay? If you want to change some of the letters, that's what's so beautiful about this activity. It's steady building and building and building. And one thing I like about this activity, the more they start building those words, they're going to be able to read those words with automaticity. And that's exactly what we want in first grade. When you see that automaticity, you will start having those great fluent readers. Okay? Now, I want to let you work with your partner for about 1 minute. I'm going to give you a 1 minute. And you're going to use those same 5 letters. And let's go ahead and do one of the activities we did today. You can build a word, blend a word. You can illustrate a picture. You can dictate a sentence. Or you can just have your baby to write you a wonderful sentence. And when they're writing at home, don't let their writing be a struggle for them. If they get stuck, give them a little push. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do that. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead now, and we're going to put those cards in the Ziploc bags you have on the table. You have a great make and take to take home and do with your child. As Ms. Cooper said earlier, index cards are the key. Now, don't buy them all for Dollar Tree, because y'all got to save some for me. I got to go and give me some for the school year also. Okay? So be sure you go and pick up your index cards. Next, I'm going to go ahead and pull the resources that Mobile County Public School System is giving you in this wonderful resource bag. Okay, I'm going to discuss those. Let me get my card because I got some notes on mine. Here's mine right here. Okay, thank you. I know I'm getting all off track. Okay, sorry about that. I have a few notes on mine. The first thing you have is First Grade Family Engagement Guide. When I read through these first top 10 tips for your first grader needs to know, and I think these tips are spot on. These are excellent tips. So be sure you go ahead and read those first when you get this little pamphlet. Now let's go ahead and open it to the inside and see what we have. When you look, you see on the left-hand side, it says first grade at a glance. Here, what to read, high frequency words, and addition. What I love about this pamphlet is it gives you something with reading, it gives you something with math, it gives you some things with family nights, and it gives you some things that you can do with science as well as social studies. Let's go ahead and look at a few components of this pamphlet. I want to look at high frequency words. They gave you some high frequency words in here, and I like two things that Ms. Cooper said for us today. She said that high frequency words come in those decodables. You may want to keep those decodables in a shoebox at home. I love that. Great idea. Also, I do have another suggestion for your high frequency words. When my first graders first start off with theirs at the beginning of the year, I normally send home some sticky notes. And then I send home a list of those high frequency words. And I tell those parents, hey, write those high frequency words on sticky notes and just start sticking those sticky notes all around the house. You know, when your child, you first had your baby, you labeled everything in the house. Hey, we're taking them labels down from the light switch to the mirror, and we're gonna put them up some sticky notes. So put those sticky notes all around the house, as well as put them on those index cards. Index cards is the key. And when you're traveling at home, put them in a Ziploc bag. You can play games at home with those index cards. Okay? I want to look at letters and sounds on the next side that says, let's learn to read. It says, say the sounds. And I like here, it says you can write the letters on a card and have your child to say the sounds for the letters. Also, it said you can read. Nothing like reading print in an environment. When you're driving, you're reading that STOP on that stop sign everywhere you go. That is building some oral language. First things kids recognize when they start riding in the car is McDonald's. Hey, that's building some oral language. When they start reading and spelling fries, that's building oral language. Let's go ahead to our next page. In here, you have some writing fun. I like writing because reading and writing go hand in hand. One complements the other, and it pushes the other to be enforced. When you learn to read, you learn to write. That's why I like with the activity I gave you with the cards, doing some dictation. I love that, or either just writing a sentence using those words. Okay? Also, you have math everywhere. Going back to math in the environment, math everywhere you see it in your community. So that's a good thing to do as well. You can count how many, what number, and how can you find the shape. Okay? Our next page has science. Kids love diving into hands-on activities. Anything they can touch and feel, and it's tactile. They're ready to get wet, dirty, draw, paint, jump, skip, hop, whatever they need to do in science. And I'm gonna go ahead and go to the last page. And on the back of the last page where it says, supporting your first grader, I put a heart by something on the back of this. And the thing I put a heart by was something that I absolutely loved. And it was like, hold the family conversation. And I think when you talk to your children, when you read to your children, that helps develop oral language. Not only does it do that, it helps develop social skills. Okay? When you get this packet, please be sure to read that Hold the Family Conversation, because that's so important. It's nothing like asking a baby, how was school today? What did you learn today? How was math? Can you tell me a couple of sight words that you did today at school? You know, and I think that makes you feel a little bit more connected to your child's learning. So I love that. Okay, I'm going to go over a couple of other books that are in here. It says, Kids Learn. Get ready for first grade. I like this book because in this book you have some reading, math, science, social studies, as well as some writing. And I like this book because they can write in it, they can color, they can draw, they're going to be able to count, because you're going to hear those math presenters today, so they're going to be able to do all kind of things in this book. And I love one part of this book that was my favorite that really stuck to me, was this unit that had American symbols to match. And when I think about those American symbols to match, that's one of our units in our reading, and that's something that we do in our social studies. So I'm looking at this goes so well with our curriculum, okay? And our last book is Conquering First Grade. You're gonna conquer first grade with reading, math, science, social studies, and writing. In this book, you're gonna have activities to do in all subject areas. This is a book, both of these. It's a time for you all to sit down at the table, at the bar, if y'all like to sit on the floor, or if you want to go outside and do some picnicking, working. Take these books with you. You're going on a little vacay. I know vacays are supposed to be fun, but every now and then you can add and squeeze in a little work on that vacay. I do it all the time. And take these books with you. And when you're doing these books and things with your baby, have a little take home, a little take box with you. Just maybe have some colored pencils in there, some regular pencils, erasers. Even if you don't want to take a notebook, a little small memo pad would be great. I want to suggest crayons right now because it's so hot. So that's why I said maybe grab some colored pencils. Okay, I'm going to let Ms. Cooper come back because she has some nice resources that she does at her school, and she is anxious to share those with you so you can do these resources at home with your babies. Thank you for listening and tuning in. I have enjoyed it. There you go.
Good morning, this is Ms. Cooper. I'm coming back to you again. There was one more resource that I wanted to share that I share with my parents at my school. I am big on index cards, binders, and anything that's less than $1. Right now, Dollar Tree is at $1.25, but with $3, you can go get quite a few things for your student at home. I love these index cards. I use them faithfully for everything. I keep them stacked. I have white, I have the color ones, because you can do so many things, and they do not cost a lot. I also like binders because you keep up with binders better than just having papers or cards scattered different places. Let's look at my binder. I call this the blending binder, and I do use these, and I help my parents make these at my school. We have our index cards, and it looks like this, and it follows the routines. And it is handwritten because I make these with the parents while we are sitting in our parent empowerment session. And when we're doing this, I still follow the same routine. You have your initial sound, your middle sound, which are your vowels, and then your ending sounds. And I have the routine here so they can remember what the routine is. And if you're able to take a picture of this while I have this out, this is a great resource. You can go to the Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, Dollar General with $3, get a pack of index cards and a binder. And all I do is go through the cards with the same routine. Sound, sound, blend, whack, sound, blend, wax, read, wax. So this is something that can be easily made at home with your child with less than $3. And I'm quite sure if you speak to the teacher at school, if you need some support with supplies, They can also help to provide supplies for you to have at home to practice with your child, because that's what we have at our schools now. And one thing I always say, we have to put our students first. So whatever we need to do, we are available to do that with you and your child at the school. But I would reach out to my child's teacher, because that's going to be the first person you need to come in contact with and have a nice talk with that teacher. But I just wanted to quickly show you something that could be made with just a binder and a pack of index cards that is going to focus on blending. We also have puzzles where they can go across. We're using the same routine, but these have cards and they have a picture, but it follows the same routine. And this is what we have in the classroom. But like I said, the index cards and the binder can do the same thing. And you can actually have your child to draw a picture to go with the word once they blend the word. And something that you will notice, we do real words and we do pseudo words. Pseudo words are words that are not real, they are nonsense. The goal of the pseudo words are for students to be able to read any pattern that they see. That is the goal of the pseudo words. So if your child comes home with something and you're like, these are not real words, we know those are called our pseudo words, which are nonsense words, and we're teaching them how to blend those words because they are tested 3 times a year on pseudo words. We test at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and at the end of the year. And we're practicing those skills on a daily basis, but we do have students to recognize the difference between a real word and a nonsense words. But your pseudo words, which are your nonsense words, they are very important because they help with the pattern of the phonics. This has been a great session with our first grade parents for reading today. We went over foundational skills that will be found in the green band of open court reading. And that ends this session on reading.